Welcome to CAPI Live. Let some people get on. Make sure I'm on top chat. Hey, John. Let everybody get on. If you haven't already, go ahead and share. Hey, Cassandra. If you guys hadn't already done it, go ahead and share if you would. Share and invite. And of course, hit the like button, as always. Okay, John, thanks. I wish I could share. I don't know why it won't let me. Crystals. Hey, Tom. Hope everybody had a good week this week. Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you very, very much. I don't know where everybody's at tonight. Welcome back, John. Thank you for sharing. Y'all gonna have to bear with me tonight. I don't feel good at all. I haven't felt good in the last few days. Today's been really bad. I didn't even shave. Y'all see that? I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I didn't even shave. I usually shave, but I didn't shave today because I haven't felt like doing anything. I haven't left the house. I haven't moved around. I haven't done anything. Just feel icky. You know, you have those days when you just feel icky. This is my icky day. Plus, our family is not having the greatest time right now. Michelle's mom is doing really bad. She's in the hospital in ICU. And my mom's not doing so good either. They're fixing to put her in a hospice nursing home. I was supposed to go see her today, but I was unable to because I can't even drive. My head hurts so bad. But it's been a crazy few days. Well, thank you, Tom. Donna can't join. She's not feeling well at all. Yes, she texted me earlier. I was going to say that. Thank you, Cassandra. Excuse me. She said she wasn't feeling too well. Well either. And I almost didn't do the show tonight, but I said only do one show a week. It's not going to hurt. So go on. So I decided to go on. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. John, did you invite Katie and Melissa and Veronica and Leanne, all them people? Thank you, John. I appreciate that. We definitely need your prayers. Y'all definitely include our families in your prayers. Let's see who I can get. Still want to know. Well, we'll just do the show with 3 people. I did not. I'm kind of driving to Athens. Oh, okay. Well, that's fine if you're driving. That's cool. You just said you said I'd be right back, going to share. So I figured that's what you were doing. I'm sorry. Mueller and Barr report has set a firestorm on the left. I agree, Tom, but I don't want to put politics on this channel if that's okay with you. It never ends well. I did invite my friend Fred though. Cool. Thank you, John. I will gladly PM you a conversation about that, Tom. I have a lot to say. But yeah, I agree with you on that statement. Absolutely. 100%. Well, who's all here? Is it still just Tom, John, and Cassandra? Cassandra, are you still here? Cassandra. Calling Cassandra. Pretend. Has Cassandra Britton left us? Well, who all did research this week? Who all had found the time to do research on our two topics, which was, if you remember from last week, our two topics. The topics this week was going to be um, uh, black-eyed children, and a mind blank there for a second. Black-eyed children, and talking more on missing 411. John did research on both. Awesome, John. Check you out. He's the one that had a wrought iron chair flipped at his house. Yeah, I remember you telling me about Fred, John. That's pretty cool. I wish he wasn't so far off. We could go to his house. That'd be awesome. If you aren't doing well, we can call it early. Oh, thank you, Tom. If we don't get many more people, we might call it early. But I'm not going to call it early because I don't feel well, though. The show must go on. I only do one show a week for you guys, so I don't care how I feel. I'm going to be here. 411 is overwhelming, I think you meant to say. I know it is, man. Y'all on that 411, that missing 411. What was I doing? I don't even remember now. I don't remember how I stumbled upon that. I don't know if John, did you turn me onto that, or did I turned you onto that, didn't I? Onto 411, missing 411. I can't remember if it was me or that turned you onto it, or you that turned me onto it. I think I turned you onto it. I don't remember how I got. I think I was just flipping through YouTube and saw something about missing in state parks or something like that. And I love disappearances and suspected time travel and abduction type stories. And so I said, well, I'll check this out. And so I looked into it and started reading about it, or videos on it at first. And then I started doing some research on it. And you're right, Tom, it is overwhelming. I remember talking about it, but I can't remember chicken or egg. I think I told you about it on one of the shows when we first started talking about it. Or I think after I started getting into it, I think I kind of PM'd you because I thought that was something that you would like to. Because I think I remember asking you, I have to go back and look at the text, but I think I remember asking you if you had ever heard of it. And you said no. And I said, check it out. And Tom, you're right. It's something that you hear about, and then you kind of get into it, and it turns into a hodgepodge of fascination. There's a cluster missing in Alabama. I know, yeah. And it turns into something that you like open up a can of freaking worms on that subject, man. And it's really, really cool that it goes as far in depth as it does, because my participants thing is not working for some reason. It says there's nobody here. But once you get into it and you really start checking it out, you see that there is something there. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason. It's what I like about missing 411 the most is the fact that most conspiracy theories, I watched approximately 20 videos. Yeah, no doubt. There's so many out there on that, so many subjects. You guys, if you hadn't already, check out some of the Coast to Coast AM interviews that David Pilatus did on Coast to Coast. There's a lot of them posted on the Coast to Coast YouTube channel, and some on David's channel as well. I want to learn as much as I can about this. I want to study as much as I can about this. I want to do some experiments on this. I've been we have a lot of national forest in central Alabama. And so I want to go and check out some of these places. Um, yeah, I saw you posted those, John. Thank you. They're pretty awesome. But I want to find out what's really happening. This is something I really want to get into, a little side job thing I want to get into. I'm also going to try, and believe it or not, I think I can actually. I didn't think I could at first, but I talked to a couple of people and they said that he was actually pretty much into wherever. So I think we may, don't hold me to this. I'm going to try my very, very best to get an interview with David Pilatus as well. So hopefully that'll happen in the next near future. Funny that none happens in central USA. None happens in central USA. I think some do, actually. I think I remember some in Indiana. Is that really central USA, though? Indiana? What are you calling central USA, Tom? Posted also. Yeah, I hope I'm going to be able to get that. I'm working on it as we speak. Don't hold me to it. It's nothing. I haven't even talked to him or his people yet. So, but I am working on that. Hopefully, we'll get that set up to come and talk on this little unknown channel, this little baby channel that just started. But some of the people I've talked to have said that he's open to pretty much go anywhere, so and do anything. No, the Dakotas, Nebraska, Montana. I don't know, Tom. Let's see. I actually do not know that. That would be interesting if that's really true. Let's do some fact checking on that. Y'all fact check on that too. John, you look that up too if you would. The Dakotas, Nebraska, Montana, around in that area. Down the Chupacabra hole's done a lot of work on the missing 411 as well. So you guys check out down the chupacabratrail.com as well. Let's see. North American cluster. There we go. That's exactly what I was doing, John. Was looking that up. That is crazy, Tom. I actually did not know that. Thank you very much, Tom. That is nuts. I had no freaking idea that there were no cases that fall in, because it has to meet a certain criteria for it to fall in. Hey, Katie, thank you for joining us. I sent you a PM. But I actually did not realize, and I've been doing a lot of research. I haven't really looked at any of the maps until just now. And that's what I was doing when you said that, was pulling up a map, and then John sent me one. But yeah, you're right. North Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas. That is crazy. I actually did not realize that there haven't been any missing 411s down the center strip of the United States. And this isn't just in the United States either. It's all over the world. Hey, Katie. I like the little hand. Hi. It's all over the world. and it's when you look at the places, the cluster of the places, you guys can probably see this. Let me show you this so you'll get an idea of what Tom is talking about. Let's see if I can get it without the glare. Oops, sorry. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? Right down the center strip. Now, all those Post-its there you see are all cases of missing 911 or missing 411, except down the center strip. That's very interesting. I am going to about that area that has not been affected. Oh, excuse me. You know I'm gonna eat. I eat every night. I haven't really eaten that much today. Pig today. She's like that. One day she won't eat anything, and the next day you can't stop her from eating. Today's been her eat everything in the house day. So she's been eating like crazy, but I haven't been eating that much at all today because I just haven't felt well. But my beautiful and amazing wife stopped and got me gut grenades. Gut grenades is what I call them. Y'all know what they are, but I call them gut grenades. Well, thank the Lord I live while I do. Right, Katie? Yeah, you're right there. But you don't have to worry about missing 911, or why do I keep calling it 911? Missing 411. You have to worry about human trafficking in Texas. That's a big, big thing there. Step up and bust your bubble, huh? They're having issues in Canada and England. Yeah, it's very prominent in Europe. Grenades? What about grenades? Oh, gut grenades. You're asking why I call them grenades? That's funny. I used to work on the ambulance for many, many, many years. I worked on the ambulance, and I worked for a company called Haynes Ambulance. And one of the owners was my boss, or in the area that I was in, was named Todd Haynes. Awesome guy. But every now and then when he would get hungry around lunch and didn't want to leave the office, if he couldn't leave the office because he had paperwork to do or a meeting or whatever, he would, excuse me, he would come outside, and whoever the first person he see, he would throw a wad of money at him and say, here, go get us a couple sacks of gut grenades for lunch. And he would treat everybody to crystals for lunch. And so that's why he called them gut grenades, because he said they had the same effect that Mexican food has on some people, I guess you would say, to clean that up a little bit. But that's why I call them gut grenades, is because he used to call them gut grenades all the time. So, but yeah, thank you. That's why. It's all where you live down here. I am pretty sure we have a member of the cartel down the street. I know you've told me about that before, Katie. That's crazy. But to live in your neighborhood, he's got to be a high ranking. So, they never shit where they eat. So I think you'll be okay. Hopefully. Just don't make him mad. The dehydrated onions is what causes that? Yeah, probably. Never heard of crystals? You never heard of crystals? What? Yes, you have. There's crystals in Texas. And it says K, not a C. You've heard of crystals. Come on, you don't live in a foreign country, Katie. There's crystals everywhere. Yeah, that's what they call them, as White Castles. But it's actually two different companies, though. Crystals is better than White Castles, by the way. I've had White Castle. I used to eat White Castles when I was in Indiana. No crystals in New York either. That's crazy. Bless your heart. 401 is a whole new topic. Don't think it's paranormal. I have to disagree, Tom. That's what I was saying. Very high ranking, always a new Tesla in his driveway, along with brand new vehicles every other week. I actually feel safe with him and the neighborhood, right? Nobody's going to mess with that neighborhood. With a drug cartel kingpin living there. But There is a lot of people that talk about the missing 411 not being it just being people being abducted. Um, and that's why, if they put a list, let me unplug this for a second. If this map showed, let me get the map back up for you guys. If that map showed everywhere someone was abducted, if it just showed everywhere someone was kidnapped or abducted or went missing or just vanished, then the entire country, you wouldn't be able to see the map. The entire country would be full, right? Of these little things here, of all these things here. It'd be like this cluster up here, right? The entire United States would look like that. There would be no room to see anything else. So the reason why it's not done like that is because missing 411 cases have to fall into a certain criteria. There can't be like domestic violence. There can't be evidence of anything. There can't be evidence of an abduction. There can't be evidence of a murder. There can't be evidence of foul play or accidental or any of that stuff. There can't be any evidence at all, actually. It has to be contrary to our normal MOs, it has to be unexplained. Some of the hypothesis on missing 411 is what brings out the paranormal in that, Tom. How it comes out as being possible paranormal is there's a hypothesis that there's a hypothesis for missing 411 for everything. I'm sorry, I lost train of thought. I saw something in it. Yeah, right. No suicidal tendencies. Right. Thank you, John. And there can't be anything like in their history like that they would want to get away from either. Like, people that want to drop off the face of the earth, like Elvis and D.B. Cooper and, different people that have dropped off the, face of the earth or faked their deaths or whatever and done all this, stuff. And so that's what I like about missing 411 is it brings out the, while there is an air of, conspiracy theory there, because people talk about it being a Saskatchewan. Some people talk about it being being ufology related. Some people talk about it being demonic. Some people talk about it being the third parallel openings. Some people talk about it being portals. I mean, because some of these people vanish like that. There's a case of the 3-year-old boy. Him and his sister went with a church group camping. Their fathers, let him go camping with his church group because he owned a little wilderness retreat thing. And he knew these people. They had stayed at his retreat several times, and he knew them well. And so he trusted them. He said, yeah, you can take my kids and y'all go hiking. And so they take the kids hiking. Well, the group of about 20 people split into 2 groups and was walking about 60 to 70 yards apart and through this trail. And they were going to Big Bear Canyon, I think it was, or somewhere, I don't remember. But I could pull it up. But the point is the 2 kids were running back and forth betwixt the groups, the 2 different groups. Well, the 3-year-old boy would run from the back group to the front group and then past the front group. And then whenever they would come around a bend or come through a narrow passage or something in the trail, he would jump out. And so everybody was laughing at him. He's a cute little 3-year-old playing. And so it was really funny. Well, it didn't say how many times he did this, but at one point he went up and probably went about 10 yards, just 10 yards, guys. Just 10 freaking yards, a first down, as small as a first down. He went and around a bend, and then whenever they went up to see him, he wasn't there anymore. Now, granted, the time lapse between the time that they saw him the last time and the time that they figured, hey, something's wrong here, in the group varied from 20 minutes to, well, actually from just a matter of moments to an hour and a half. Because it was two different groups. So, you're going to have different time zone or time frames within those groups. But he disappeared just like that. There was another case where and I'm going to get to you guys' comments. I see them popping up. But there was another case of Boy Scout retreat. This guy was 12 years old, so he's not some young little toddler that doesn't know anything, and he was a trained Boy Scout survivalist. He'd gotten his survivalist patch. Him and his dad went on a weekend camping trip with the Boy Scouts, with BSA. And they were a football field and a half. So I guess it's 150 yards from the other campers, the main camp where everybody was camping out. He was with his dad, and so they kind of went off closer to the lake because they were both avid fishermen. So they went a little closer to the lake. So they're about 150 yards from the main camp where all the other BSA boys and scout troops and our scout leaders and all that was there. And they get down to this lake, and the 12-year-old looks up at his dad, and he's playing around, being a kid. And he gets a little close to the water and stumbles. Nope, he doesn't fall into the water. He just stumbles because it said his shoes and socks had gotten wet. So he told his dad, he said, hey, I'm not going to sit out here with wet socks. Y'all know how horrible wet socks are. The shoes probably wasn't that big of a deal because you can kick them off. But, out in the brush and, you don't want to walk around barefooted. So he said, I'm going to run up to the tent and grab my other socks and everything. He said, and put my other shoes on. And Dad said, yeah, it's like 75 yards from where we're at. And the dad watched him walk around the lake and even yelled to him to tell him what path that would take him directly to their tent. And it was about 60 yards into the woods. And so he goes in. About 20 minutes later, the dad's like, he really should have been back by now. It's just right on the other side of that little patch of woods. And the place that they chose to be the camp area for the BSA outing for that weekend, it was chose specifically because of its location. There was only one way in and one way out. It was very secluded. It was very open in spots that they would be active in, basically, with just a couple of patches of wood to go through. The father, from where he was sitting on the lake fishing, could see where the sun went in. Now, he could see on the right side of this patch of wood, this little mini forest, clutter of trees and bushes, the kid had to walk through to get to the other side, to where the clearing was, where he was camping. He could see to the right side, open field. To the left side, open field. He just couldn't see this one little section, which was about 60 yards wide. He couldn't see past that. And that's where the boy went through there to go to the camp, skipping and jump through. Seeing anyone coming in and out. And even said that while he was telling the boy which to take, that would take him directly to their tent, said that he kept looking on both sides. And after about 20 minutes, he's like, something's, he just started getting that feeling. Parents, that feeling, right? When you get that, hey, something's not right. Something, and, it's like a intuition, kind of thing. It's like a feeling you get. I've gotten it. I mean, every parent in the world probably has at one point or time, or another, where you're like, something's not quite right with my kid. I need to figure something out. And that's what happened. And then he went to look and couldn't find him. And so then he went to the main camp and got all the BSA scouts, all the troop leaders, everybody. And they said within an hour of him going missing, And that's including that 20-minute period that he left. The dad last saw him and the time he went to find him. But within an hour, there was close to 1,500 people looking for this kid. And they tore the place up. I mean, they just went over it with a fine-tooth comb. They even brought in a helicopter with FLIR. They went over everything, and they couldn't find him at all. So it's got to be a case like that. There's just no other rhyme or reason. There's got to be something unexplainable. So let me get to y'all's comments. I heard on the Black-Eyed Children, I believe they are demons. Oh, hey, Ass Muncher. Ass Muncher's back. Thank you for joining us, buddy. I'm sorry I didn't see you before. I heard of the Black-Eyed Children. I believe they are demons mimicking kids. That's definitely a hypothesis on that, on the Black-Eyed Kids. You're right. Absolutely. I've heard that one. But most of the research I did on that, and we'll get back to 911 or 411. I keep calling it 911. We'll get back to 411, but just because he said that, they're saying most of the research that I do or that I did on the Black-Eyed Kids is saying that it's a fairly new. And when I say new, I mean mid to late 90s. Some of them even in the 2000s. Say is the origin date of that. But I remember in the 80s hearing about Black-Eyed Kids. Does anybody else? My older group? Yeah, I remember in the 80s hearing about, but in the 80s, I was really into the paranormal. So, I kind of listened to it a lot more than most people, but I had my ear on the main line for paranormal. But I remember hearing about it. Events go back to the 50s. Yeah, I remember hearing about it in the 80s, and I remember hearing about events, way back in the old, before I was born. I hear stories about them, but there's even some reports on black-eyed adults now too. So. But yeah, that is a hypothesis on that, Ash Muncher, that they're demons mimicking kids. And then you have shows like Children of the Corn and Black-Eyed Kids. There was one done called Black-Eyed Kids that kind of add a little fuel to that theory too. So that they were demonic. I don't know what Black-Eyed Children are, but the name of it scares the shit out of me. Right? It just doesn't sound right, does it, Katie? I agree. A suicidal tendency or depression. Has anyone seen a Black-Eyed Kid? It could be just a hoax. It could be a hoax, Cassandra. I've never seen one. There's a lot of reports out there about it. It could just be an urban legend. And as a matter of fact, that's the consensus on that, is that it's just an urban legend. That they don't exist. But there's been some pretty convincing stories about them. But there's also been a lot of hoaxes on it too. So you never know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but spirits, etc., can harm you. I don't know what you're asking, Tom. I'm sorry. Correct me if I'm wrong, but spirits, etc., is that what you're saying? Can harm you? Yes, spirits can definitely harm you. We've talked about that. Remember my scratch in the jail I told you guys about? That hurt a lot. I hurt for a few days because it went deep, man. It really sliced me. Plus, I had my chin sliced open with that picture frame in Mississippi. So yeah, they can definitely, spirits 100% can harm you. Absolutely. Fairy portals. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Tom. With Missing 411, he says, if y'all don't see it, he says a lot of the videos involved shoes. The story that I was just talking about, where the gentleman let his daughter and son go, the 6-year-old and the 3-year-old go with the missions group on a hiking trip. And then he came up missing. Years later, I think it was 3 years later, some remains, a skull cap and I don't mean a skull cap that you wear, by the way. I think that's what some people call beanies, is skull caps. But I don't mean that. I mean the actual cap of this kid's skull, like a bone. The top portion of the 3-year-old's skull was found. His pants, his shirt, and his shoes were found. The pants had one leg missing. And you could look at the pants and tell that it was definitely deterioration, that it wasn't an animal that did that ripped the pant leg off. Because that's the official law enforcement conclusion on that case is that when he rounded that bend, a mountain lion jumped off the trail and grabbed him by the shoulder and ran, which is what a mountain lion would do. Absolutely, they would do that. If someone that's what mountain lions are, just like regular lions, like big lions in Africa. They look for something that's weak. They look for something that's away from the group. They want to avoid detection. If you've ever watched a mountain lion or a lion or a tiger or any type of big cat, if you ever watched a big cat stalk its prey, that is the most patient, most precise. You never know they're on you. The reports of lion attacks onto humans, most of them are in open fields. People are in open fields with like less than knee-high grass, and a full-size lion jump out 2 feet in front of them and attack them. They're stealth big time. But that's what a mountain lion would do in that case, is it would wait for that child, because he's the smaller of the herd. He's away from the herd. And the mountain lion could have been tracking him and stalking him and waiting for a moment. And then whenever he went around that bend away from the rest of the herd, would have been a perfect time for a mountain lion. That's why I'm not saying that's what happened. It doesn't look like that to me. And animal experts, specifically mountain lion experts, have testified that there's no way that it was a mountain lion. But the official law enforcement conclusion on that case is that he went around that bend and the mountain lion jumped out of the trail, grabbed him by his left shoulder, picked him up, and then ran onto the other side of the trail back into the woods, and then went and buried him. That's why they couldn't find him. People say dogs bury, not cats. Actually, big cats do bury their prey. So not many people know that mountain lions especially will do that. If there's a possibility of another animal, or if a human is in the area and there's a possibility of detection, the lion will bury in a shallow grave their kill, and then come back later. Once everything is calmed down, everybody's gone away, he'll come back and unbury it, and then have his feast. You could tell on the shirts, on this kid's shirt, turned inside out. Yeah, it was turned inside out. That's right. There was no blood on there. There was no animal saliva on there. There was no, there would have been blood everywhere. I mean, as soon as that cat bit into his shoulder, that would have shot blood. I don't know, not many people, would know, but my years of the sheriff's department, my years on the ambulance, my years with the coroner's office, I'd seen some pretty gruesome scenes, stabbings. It's not like you see it in the movies where someone comes up like in a prison movie and starts shanking somebody and they fall down and blood trickles and this pool starts going out around their body. Ever you seen that like on TV, on a show or a movie where they get stabbed in prison? They'll shank them like 50 times in 10 seconds and the guy goes down and that little pool of blood will start growing and growing and growing and growing, the even gunshots, when the skibs go off, skibs are small explosive devices they put on their bodies to mimic gunshots. And then whenever they go down, they'll grab like this. And in the old days, they used to puncture a bladder that had fake blood in it. Now they have those skibs and it punctures itself. But it's never like that, guys. When a large puncture hits the body, you're, oh man, how's it? It's like a water balloon, basically. It's a lot of pressure. Your heart pumps the blood, and it does that with using pressure. It pumps pressure through the veins, and that's what pumps the blood. And so whenever you get stabbed or shot or something comes open, it's not just like, oh, there's blood. Oh no, I'm bleeding. I mean, it's like, there's going to be a spray. I mean, I've seen many of crime scenes where you go in and there's spray all over the wall, or spray behind behind where they were standing, or in front of where they were standing, depending on the entrance. So I mean, as soon as this big cat grabbed that shoulder and bit down, he would have had, like, it would have been like biting into a berry, for that cat. It would have sprayed blood, Of course, it would have been in his mouth, but it's going to come out too. I mean, there would have been there was never any blood found. Dogs went and looked at this. You could tell his pants that was missing a leg. I think it was the left leg. It was missing on the right leg. It may have been the right leg. Actually, I think it was the left leg. But it was missing part of the leg from about, it made it look like that side was shorts, basically, really short shorts. Come back. Sorry, my notes just went black. There we go. Go back to that. Thank you. Get that map pulled back up because I'm going to talk about that in a minute. There we go. But there was never any blood on the clothes. There was no saliva. There would have been cat saliva all over them clothes. I mean, duh. Especially, but you could tell if you can hold up a garment. I don't have anything but a garment. If you hold it up and it's been ripped off, say like a large animal has bitten into it and ripped it along with the arm off, then you're going to be able to tell that, as opposed to normal deterioration over, a long period of time, because it was 3 years whenever the partial skull and pants and shoes were found. I'm gonna get to the shoes in a minute too. I've talked about that before, but it's just that's the most interesting part about it to me, is the shoes. Excuse me. But they you could tell that it was deterioration, that it wasn't a rip, it didn't get ripped off like that. You could tell. And the shirt, there's no way that he got bit in the shoulder, in the left shoulder, by a mouth. His shoulder was probably, I don't know, probably about that wide. He's 3. So his shoulder was probably about that wide. Mountain lion that could pick up 25 to 30 pounds and run with it at the speed that he would have had to been running would be a big mountain lion. It wouldn't be no small, youngster. It'd be a guy. It'd be a big one. So his mouth radius would be something like that. So biting down, him clamping down on this kid's shoulder would probably take part of his neck, most of his chest in that area, of course, all of his shoulder, probably even some of his upper abdomen. You're going to tell me that this big cat bit down on the left side of this 3-year-old's, said he got him by the shoulder. It's going to take most of that side of his body, from mid-abdomen up to the neck. It's going to take most of that into his mouth with a 3-year-old, 25-pound 3-year-old. And so, and there's no blood. Come on. And these people, he had just ran around the corner, and whenever they got around the corner, right after that, there was a long trail. The trail was very long. So stand aside the blood, stand aside the clothing conditions, stand aside the length of time that he was seen last, because that was never really determined. Stand aside the shoes, stand aside people just not paying attention. This is a 3-year-old rambunctious boy who's playing. If this is the number 2 thing for me, the number 1 thing for me is the shoes. The number 2 thing is this. If he was to have ran around that corner and say was looking behind him, y'all, everybody in the world, raise your hands that has kids, have seen kids that run full blast looking behind them, right? And then you see the horror that's fixing to happen. You're like, no, stop, look. And before you get look out there, smack into the tree or the pole or the wall or the bed or the couch or whatever. Y'all have seen it. If you got kids, you've seen that full, I don't give a crap about nothing, head-on run and looking behind them. So let's say, because he was playing a game of, keep away or whatever he was playing, tag or scare them or whatever, with this group, he could have been looking behind him. In which case he could have, let's say he would have ran into a tree. He would have rounded that bend, took too much of a turn because he's looking behind him, and then, halfway circumnavigated that trail and boom, smacked that into a tree. And fell back onto the trail, or even fell off the trail, whatever. What's going to happen? He's 3 years old. He's already hyper. His adrenaline's running like crazy. He's full nonstop running. He hits that tree. The first thing that's going to happen. Now, for the first few seconds, he might just sit there, because we all get that little, we all get that moment of realization, of awaken unconsciousness after you get hurt, like when you stump your toe, you get that moment of you don't say anything. So that's possible. But after that kid would have screamed his freaking lungs out. Now, imagine 3-inch, anywhere from 1/4 to 1 inch diameter tooth or fang, 2 of them, lodging into this kid's shoulder and chest and neck. Incisors the size of the width of a matchbook and sharp as razors. And canines literally anywhere from an inch to 2 inches and anywhere between 1/4 to 1 inch in diameter, lodging into this kid's body, upper body. And do you not think this kid's going to let out a blood-curdling scream that you've never heard in your life? I mean, come on. This kid would have screamed his freaking head off the whole time that cat's running through the woods with him. And you're going to tell me that 30, 40 people didn't hear that was less than 50 yards from him? Come on. Doesn't make sense to me. So, and this is the second one, or this is the first one that gets me. They found his shoes as well. The father identified the clothing and the shoes as being his. The clothing was ripped and torn and kind of messed up a little bit, or a whole lot actually, because it'd been there for 3 years. And his skull cap. They found his shoes. The shoes looked like, and I've said this before, I think, but the shoes looked like they had been purchased for a 3-year-old boy, and he wore them all day when they found them. Literally. Like you would went to the shoe barn and bought the shoes for your 3-year-old, and they wore them one day, all day, and played in them and got them dirty, and what a 3-year-old boy's going to do. And that's what they looked like. They looked like new shoes with some small wear and tear on them. That's it. There was no scuffing. There was no ripping. There was no discoloration. They looked like new freaking shoes that may have been worn a day. And y'all don't take my word for it. Go look it up. It's on the missing 411. Yeah, I don't remember the name. John, if you remember that name, tell us the man's name. I don't remember. I think he was Latino. I may be mistaken about that, but I think they were Latino. Coming from his name, I think. I may be thinking of another one, but just look that one up for me, if you would, and see if you can get his name. But y'all look at him. You'll see the picture of the shoes. There's a video of them, for crying out loud. There's no scuffs on the back. There's no scuffs on the sides, and there's no scuffs on the front, on the toe. But yet he was supposed to have been dragged from that trail through the woods. And there's no tearing or ripping or damage at all on the shoes. It's been drugged by his upper body and his shoulder. I'm sorry, I just don't get it. And why wasn't more of the remains found, except for just a skull cap? Let me get to y'all some of y'all's comments. I get to talking about this stuff. No, maybe something else. No screams were heard. Yeah, that's what I was saying. No screams. They never heard a screaming. They would have known. They would have reacted right then instead of waiting. What about a hawk or an eagle, etc.? That's possible. Pickup, but super, super unlikely. And even if that would have been the case, then the remains would have been more than just his skull cap. What about a hawk or I just read that one. Puncture. Would you stop? Keeps telling me my protection is down. Arterial artery. Yeah. No, there's nothing like that. Oh, those huge owls. I don't think an owl could have done it. Even the biggest owl, I don't think they could have done it. But I don't think a hawk could have done it. But an eagle or what are they called? Not magpies, but the big buzzards. Maybe there's some of those that may have been able to get him. Something swooped down and got him. Something. It was one of the eagles from the Lord of the Rings. That's right. Did you see my comments on the shoes? I didn't, Tom. I'm sorry. Let me go back up. I didn't think I'd missed that much. Let me see. Oh, that was too fast, Johnny. I keep forgetting that my screen is touch screen. I don't know why I keep doing that. All right, let's see. Tom. Correct me if I'm wrong, but spirits can hurt. Okay, yeah. A lot of other videos involve shoes. I do now. Yeah, a lot of the videos involve shoes. Yeah. Right, John. Thank you. I was fixing to say that before I got distracted. The shoes were found way off from the body. All I see, Tom, is where you said a lot of the videos involve shoes. Is that what you're talking about? Let's look at that real quick and see that, because that's kind of interesting. Because I'm not sure about that. 40 pounds. Condors. That's what I was trying to think of. All right, here we go. 5 birds that can carry away your taller. The golden eagle, um, measuring from 27 to 33 inches in length, has a wingspan of 78 inches and weighs 7 to 14 pounds. Although golden eagles are powerful enough to kill a man, they have never been known to attack adult humans as prey or attempt to whisk babies or toddlers from parks in Montreal. Marital eagle weighs over 14 pounds, 32 inches long. Aggressive predator, the river eagle feeds on poultry as well as higher small numbers of caves, monkeys, young domestic goats, lambs, several cats, and jackals. Although it is said that the talons of the mantis could break a man's arm, there are never reports of this impressive bird having taste for human children. Okay, that takes 2 of them out. Raptors overall is the bird found in the ocean. Well, I'm still talking about the stellar sea eagle. He weighs up to 20 pounds, more than 40 inches, and a wingspan of up to 7 feet. Good Lord. It has the largest, most powerful beak of any eagle. Although it feeds mostly on fish, it will sometimes take large animals known to pick up occasional juvenile seal. Never been known to pick up or attempt to take juvenile or mature humans. There's 3 now. Harper eagle, considered by some to be the most powerful eagle in the world. Females tip to the scales at 20 pounds, can reach 3.5 feet in length, and have a wingspan of more than 7 feet long. Their talons are larger than a grizzly bear's claws. Good Lord, over 5 inches. Can you imagine? 5 inches, 5-inch talons. And its grabs can puncture a human skull with a small degree of ease. They feed mostly on monkeys and sloths, clothing, carrying off animals of 20 pounds and more. So they've been up to 20 pounds. Never been reported to, so there's 4 down, never been reported to attacking small children. African crowned eagle, found in parts of tropical Africa. This eagle has a staple diet consisting of monkeys and other mid-sized mammals like the Cape hyrax and small antelopes. Good Lord, can you imagine? As well as dogs, lambs, and goats. It's kind of unnerving to learn that this bird often preys on animals weighing in the 65-pound range, which may explain why Africans call it the leopard of the air. Evidence exists that the African crowned eagle caused the death of an early human child whose remains were discovered in a cave at Tuang, South Africa in 1924. A study reported in National Geographic notes that these eagles have been known to occasionally attack or eat human children. There is one report from South Africa of a small child skull being found in a nest. And it said evolutionary biologist Susan Schultz of the University of Liverpool in England. So of all the big birds, this one may be the one to fear, but still chances of your baby sitting in a park is safe from random birds of prey. Sadly, most of these birds are endangered and need our respect and protection, not fear. That said, note to be of Oaksters, next time use a leopard of the air. You really want to shake us. Oh, she's talking about that golden eagle snatches kids. Y'all remember that one? Where he picked the kid up and then dropped it, but it was fake. They found out that it was actually fake. Yeah, so unless you're in Africa, Cassandra, and you come across the African crowned eagle, it's not a bird of prey. They're not known. While there is a couple of the top 5 that possibly could pick up the child, usually they're around 20 pounds. I think they said he weighed 27 pounds, which there's some of them, probably the Marshall, but they're not, they don't have a taste for human flesh. So, and the ones that would possibly do it, the only one of the 5 that would possibly have that has been known to have a taste for human flesh is the African crowned eagle, which is an endangered eagle in Africa. So I don't think there were one of those in Yellowstone at the time of his disappearance. So And the shoes weren't with the rest. Oh, yeah. Maybe after 3 years, animals dragged off bones they could carry in their mouths. Absolutely. That's possible, Cassandra. Absolutely. No DNA found on the clothes. Yeah. See, the thing is an animal attack, there's going to be traces of said animal. There's going to be some kind of, blood doesn't go away, right? It stays, it sticks around, it deteriorates, but in clothing and stuff like that, it doesn't go away. It's still there. But they found traces of blood stains on mummified clothing. So I mean, it doesn't go; it stays. It hangs around for a little while. Yeah, no saliva, nothing on these clothes or anything that would suggest an animal. So that's, I mean, just that case in particular is one of my top cases of the missing 411, because everything that the investigators and the Park Service and law enforcement has thrown out to be a possible cause, the evidence just doesn't show it. So let's get back to you're nut. Mm-hmm. And that's the way it has to be for it to be a missing 411. That's like I was saying earlier, that map that we looked at that John shared with me. If you just put all the abductions and the missing people and the vanishings and all that on that map, it would cover the United States. You wouldn't be able to see it. But that map was just of the missing 411. It has to be a certain criteria to be that. Evelyn Long. We're talking about missing 411, which falls into paranormal category because of the different hypotheses on it. We're also talking about black-eyed children, if you have anything to say about that. You're welcome to stick around, Edwin. Well, that's all we talk about is paranormal. It's not all we talk about. Don't tell Edwin. Let him find out. Tonight, that's all we're talking about, though, so far. Except for my little slant on crystals and White Castle. But yeah, that's what topics we're doing on tonight. Missing 411 and about grenades and tequila. That's right. Missing 411 and black-eyed kids is our topics tonight, Edwin. If you have anything to add or share or ask about those topics. Yeah, that is interesting, Tom. You don't know. We don't know. I haven't really even heard anybody talk about the fact that down that strip. I'm gonna have to do some more research on that and find out why that strip of the United States has no cases. That's very interesting. It's very surprising that I haven't heard anything on that too before tonight. So I appreciate you bringing that up. Is this just a show where a man sits in front of a camera and talks about whatever he wants under the guise of paranormal one-man team? This new guy asked, is this just a show where a man sits in front of a camera and talks about whatever he wants under the guise of paranormal one-man team.
Huh? What?
I just told him what it was. I don't guess he can understand me. Bye, Edwin. Thank you for leaving. He's a moron. Every now and then we get one of those.
Crap.
He asked me, he said I stopped to talk because I thought this was a paranormal. And I told him we're talking about black-eyed kids and missing 411.
Yeah.
And then that was his response. Is this just a show where a man says it? So I don't know. We get those morons every now and then. We're all part of CAPI. Yeah. Everybody was trying to tell him. I'm definitely not a one-man team, thank goodness. I wouldn't do it right if I was. I have done a lot. I will share results. What are you talking about on research on this? He wanted to talk about ghosties. I told him he could talk about it. We can talk about anything. I was just telling him the topics for tonight. You get those people like that, though. They just want to come in and see their name on the board. That's all. Is there any more in there? I'm just guessing. You're guessing about, he wanted to talk about ghosts. You're probably right. That's the biggest ignorance about the paranormal, Cassandra, is that most people think whenever they hear paranormal that that's what it is. It's just ghosts. That it's just, hauntings and stuff like that. But that's not the case. Paranormal is as you well know, and everyone else on this channel knows, the paranormal is a wide variety of stuff. Everything from angels to ESP to ghosts and things that go bump in the night and missing 411 because it involves hypothesis of Sasquatch and hypothesis of ufology, black-eyed kids. I mean, everything. Paranormal is just that. It's the paranormal. So what supposedly do the black-eyed kids do to people? Well, that is a good question. I don't know. I haven't. What are you talking about? And I'm just kidding. They will present themselves while they have been seen like on dark, secluded roads and like cabins in the woods and stuff like that. They're mostly noted for outside the normal, right, Tom? Outside the normal, not normal, paranormal. But what they're mostly famous for is they would knock on a door in a residential area and ask to use the phone or the bathroom, or they would say they're lost. Just different things. Can you please call our parents? The ages range, the most popular ages are between 10 and 13, but they have ranged anywhere between 6 and 18. Or is it 6 and 19? 16. I think that's what it is. 6 and 16. Normally it's between 10 and 13, but they range from 6 to 16. That's what it was. I'm trying to recall my notes because I already took it off because I was getting onto the subject of missing 411. But in 2012, the horror film Black Eyed Kids was produced. And it's basically said that they were urban legends that's been floating around on the internet. And 2013, Weekly Strange featured a report on them. But the earliest writings was in 96. tales of black-eyed children have existed since the 1980s. Most sources indicate that the legend originated from 1996 posts written by Texas reporter Brian Bethel on a ghost-related mailing list relating to alleged encounters with black-eyed kids. There was a tale. I don't know if I'll even find it or not, but there was one tale about black-eyed kids that was really good. It was just two old people. It was an older couple were at home, on an evening and watching TV, and these two kids, a boy and a girl, I think they were around the ages of 10 and 11, 12, somewhere around in there, came and knocked on their door, and they opened the door and they said, hey, we're lost. Can we come in and call our father? Can we please come in? And they'll use different things, but they'll ask, can I come in? And it goes to that whole omen thing, the whole omen. Do you remember the omen where the kid come up, knocks on the door, on the window, like on the second or third floor, he knocks on the window, and the kid opens the window and he says, come, he says, why don't you come in here? And the kid says, I can't until you invite me. And so that's what the whole black-eyed kids things is too, is they can't come in unless they're invited in. So that's, once they're invited in, you're supposed to be inviting evil into your home. But you can invite evil into your home without inviting some black-eyed brat in there too. So I had a black-eyed kid come see me today, but she looked more like a really old lady. I really did. She was walking up my walk. I was out smoking a cigarette and playing on my tablet. I think I was playing one of my emergency games, and sitting there playing, and I heard these high heels click, click, click coming up my walk, and I looked up, and there's this little old lady walking up, and with this big old grin on her face and some pamphlets. And I said, Jehovah's Witness? And she said, yes. How are you? I said, I'm fine. Get off my property. I don't want to talk to you. I said, thank you anyway. And she says, okay, well, you have a nice day. I said, you too. You have a nice day. And she said, you sure I can't talk to you about our church and our beliefs? And I said, I'm positive you can't talk to me about your occult. Plainly leave. So, but she was really sweet though. But maybe that's what that was. She was a black-eyed adult, because there's been reports of black-eyed adults, and she was just needing me to invite her. Never knew. My kids are all grown up. I'm certainly not letting any strange kids come in. That's the best thing to do. Salem's Lot. Yeah, thank you. I think that was the name of that. Thank you. What did I say? The Omen? I think it was in the Omen too, though, wasn't it? In the big house? Maybe it was Salem's Lot. I don't know. I have the worst memory in the world. It was late on a Halloween night. It was late on a Halloween night. The air was thick. It was a motionless feel of dread. But that was so scary to me. Still is. Salem Lot. Yeah, I vaguely remember that. That's an old one. I will have to pull that one up and watch it again, because I do remember it being pretty good. But they have to be invited in, so that they can't just come into your home, which is the whole part of the whole legend of evil. It has to be invited into your life. It can't just take you over. You have to invite it in. And you don't have to invite it in by saying, please come in either. You can invite evil into your life by your actions as well. So, but these black-eyed kids would come in, and it usually meant that someone was going to die. The story of the old man and the old lady, I don't remember how they got them out of the house. They got them out of the house somehow. I think they just eventually left, because they started talking about the old man was like, did you see their eyes? Because they wouldn't make eye contact. And the old man said, he asked the lady, he said, do you see their eyes? He said, they're black. And she's asking a lot of questions about their father and, stuff like that, because they originally wanted to come in to use the phone. If y'all see that story, look it up. Y'all know my memory, it's horrible, but I can't remember how they got them out of there. I think they just finally got up and walked out. But a lot of bad stuff started happening to that couple after that. And they like empty no souls, right? Yeah. And then one of them weeks later died, but they were a really old couple, so I mean, it could have just been that person's time. So can't say that was because of the visit of the black-eyed kids, but that's what they say they're doing. They attempt to come in, and then once they're in, you invited the devil into your home, so now you're going to be in turmoil, and he's going to take over and make all this stuff happen and all this stuff. So, but yeah, I was right here. It says while tabloid coverage of these creatures have claimed that the tales of black-eyed children have existed since the 1980s. I remember hearing about tales from the 50s and 60s in the 1980s. Most sources indicate that the legend originated from a 1996 posting by Texas reporter Brian Bethel. But I don't agree with that because, like I said, I remember in the 80s hearing about stories. Here's one of the pictures. This is an artist's rendition. It looks like a photograph, y'all. It really does, but it's not a photograph. It's a drawing. It's a painting. Y'all see that? Black-eyed kid. Cassandra, Katie, possibly Tom just looked away from the screen. But yeah, that guy probably didn't really care what we was talking about. He probably took one look at me and said, I don't think so. Because I haven't shaved my head. I got that hair right here and up here. See that? I haven't shaved my face. I just hadn't felt good today, guys. I felt like crap all day. I need to make sure I look better when I come on. Because people come on and they see me and they're like, what the hell was this guy? It scared me. What, me? Looking at me, that scared you? I believe it. That's what you're saying. It wasn't the black-eyed kid, was it? It was Johnny. It scared you, Cassandra. She looked at it and said, oh, that's Johnny. Oh, wow. Really? I know that's what you guys said when you came on tonight. Don't lie. But yeah, I remember hearing stories of them coming, and I don't remember them killing anyone. I've never heard a story about black-eyed kids killing anyone, but it's always been that they bring turmoil. I can't say that word. That's like Catholicism. How do you say that? The Catholics. I used to practice Catholic, but I can't. I've never been able to say the Catholicism thing. I've never been able to say that. But that's just one of the words I can't say. Turmoil. Did I see your question? No, I did not see your question. What was your question? Let me go back. I have done a lot. I will share results. Last thing I've seen from you is you said, I have done a lot. I will share results. But you never shared results. Oh, wait, after that, you said 411, yes. And then you said outside the normal. And then you said, did you see my question? That's all I got from you, buddy. No question. Before that, it was before that Edwin weirdo guy was on. So I don't know. Can you repeat your question? I don't have a question from you since we were talking about what the show was. I keep forgetting that I can do this with my hand on the screen. I keep forgetting that my computer is touchscreen, my laptop. Catholicism. I can't. I'm sorry. It's just one of those words I can't get it. He wanted to see the busty redhead. Can a spirit kill? That is a huge question in the paranormal time. I've been asked that question so many times. What are you doing? What is it? What is it, bud? My cats react to stuff sometimes, y'all. Freaks me out. He was looking up in the corner over there, like something was there, and it started arching its back, and his hair was standing up. And then he's under the chair. She's under the chair, like she's scared or something. That's crazy. You okay? Something may be in my corner right now. I'm going back to 411. Kenny Spirit. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can go back to 411, but let me answer your question. Toby's back with a friend. Yeah, that might be what it is. But I have never heard, written, read, or experienced a case where an entity actually killed someone. A bona fide, without a doubt, proven case. There are some out there where it says people have died, investigating, like the boy that died. His mother was investigated. It was a primary paranormal investigator, and her son was killed. And they said it was because of that. I was heard messing with some dark spirit or something. But yeah, those are dime a dozen. My thoughts on can an entity kill is one laid my chin open and one scratched the hell out of the back of my neck. So if they can do that, I don't see why they can't go to the extremes of death. Perhaps self-inflicted. There have been cases of people that have committed suicide because of the paranormal. So, I mean, that's a definite possibility. Just couldn't take it anymore. The constant, bombardment of activity, and they just couldn't take it. So I guess that's possible. I guess an entity could kill. If it can harm, it could kill. I mean, if you can go to the extremes of harming someone, then you could definitely go to the extremes of killing someone. So I guess it would just be but there's never been a recorded case, bona fide, without a doubt, 100% entity did it. The story you were talking about is also linked to the MIB. The kids were asking to call their parents after the old man had a panic attack and started to bleed from his nose. Right. Demons oppress so much they commit suicide. Can demonics kill? Yeah. I mean, if they can harm, they can kill. And like Sandra just pointed out, demons do oppress so much that the person will commit suicide. There's a suicidal a suicide demon, and that's their job, is to get the person to commit suicide. So yeah, this cat is acting really weird. I'll turn the camera around and let y'all see it. No, there's two of them. Sassy has jumped up in the chair next to me and is looking up at the corner too. That's crazy. But you have to let it. Both times I've been seriously injured, not seriously, but injured. I think the closest I ever came to being seriously injured was I broke my ankle, but that wasn't paranormal. It was just me being klutz that I am. I think the times that I've been injured to where it could have escalated to be serious, both times I asked for it. When I got scratched, I said, "Come do something about it." And whenever I got that picture thrown at me and cut my chin, I asked it to do that. I asked it to do that specific thing, that specific act I asked for. So remember, it's like I've always told you guys, whether it be a dark entity, a poltergeist, an intelligent, whatever, It can't do anything to you that you won't allow it to do. Okay. It doesn't have any more power over you than you allow it. So, yeah, you have to allow it to have that power, especially in a suicide case. You have to allow that power. So, like these young children being bullied and choose to end their lives. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Did y'all see where the kid fought back and they arrested him? I emailed that or PM'd that to a few of you guys. I think I did. But yeah, he fought back. He had been bullied and he fought back, and then they arrested him. Arrested the victim because he did something. Hello, Barry. All right, the BEKs asked to use the restroom. They left the room. The woman went to the man, and the kids came back into the room screaming, then said their parents were there and left the house. That's right. Yep. That's the part I forgot. Yep. And the man had a nosebleed too. Yep. How did you get it to stop? I saw that, very sad. Oh, that case where they got bullied and he got arrested. Yeah, that was stupid. How did I get what to stop, Cassandra? I don't know what you're asking. The black-eyed kids got into a car with that was described as a MIB. Yeah. That's another hypothesis that I've heard about black-eyed kids, that they're offsprings of human alien hybrids. The attack, how did I get what to, it didn't, welcome Barry Ward. We're a paranormal channel. That's what we talk about, is paranormal. So if you have any questions, ask us. Our topics tonight are black-eyed children and missing 411. But to answer your question, Cassandra, there wasn't anything to stop. It was just a single act. Like whenever the picture came off and hit me, that's all that happened. It came off the wall and hit me in the face. And then whenever I got scratched, that's what happened, as I got scratched. I didn't have to stop it. It was just that single action. The only man that ended up dying from cancer from acute radiation. A couple of demonic attacks. What would you do if a black-eyed child approached your car? I wouldn't do anything. I would take its picture first of all. That'd be the first damn thing I did, was take the daggone thing's picture. That'd be the very first thing. Now I wouldn't speed off. Curious, was it 3 scratches? No, it was 4, Tom. 4 scratches. There's pictures on our Facebook, on the CAPI Facebook, I believe, of my neck whenever I got scratched. There's pictures of it on there. 9mm. I don't think I would. I would definitely wouldn't shoot them with a 9mm. I have a 40 caliber. That's what I would shoot them with. But I don't think I would shoot them. I would want to interview them. That's a good question, though, Barry. It makes you wonder, what would you do if a black-eyed kid approached your car? I definitely wouldn't speed off. First thing I would do is I grab my phone and I would take its picture. My phone, and y'all should do this too if you're into the paranormal, put your camera on your what's it called? Your desktop on your phone, on the main screen. Like I don't even have to unlock my phone to take a picture. I just hit the camera and it pops up. So make that so you can do it really fast. But yeah, that was the first thing I would do, Barry, is I would take his picture and I would try to talk to it. That's exactly what I would do. Barry, where are you from? Come on, y'all. I've had all these people are on right now and only have 2 likes. Even the regulars haven't liked tonight. Y'all go hit the like button. And Barry, you can go and hit the like button as well, and you can subscribe and hit the notification bell. We're on every Sunday night. Are you a Sonic fan? Where did that come from? Yes, cool. Did he already say where he's from? Where are you from, Barry? Because it didn't show up on my end if you did. By the way, welcome, Barry. Y'all see my cat? Are you there? That's the one that was freaking out earlier. You were on my stream the other day? Oh, okay. Cool. You mean last Sunday? I have the worst memory in the world, Barry. So if I forgot you, I'm sorry. If you come more often, I won't forget you. I was on your stream the other day. It was pretty good. Well, thank you. I don't want it to be pretty good. I want it to be great. We're working to get pretty good. We're new. We just started on we were on Facebook. We just started on YouTube. But we're getting it. Absolutely. And I'm still working on the studio, y'all. I'm getting that studio. We've gotten some of the stuff ready, and Corey, the producer, is working on some massively awesome ideas. We're just going to change the backgrounds and everything. So, good night, Barry. I'm going to hit the sack pretty quick too, unless anyone has anything else they want to talk about tonight's topics or anything else. I really do feel like crap. How come Corey never shows up anymore? He's every show Corey has something to do with. I promise you. He's the producer of the shows. So he has everything to do with the shows. I promise you. He's just not always on the show. He's not a in front of the camera kind of guy. He likes to be in the back. He likes to do the tech part. Everyone should know about the meetup. Does everybody know about the meetup? Tell them, John, just in case. Can you get the author from 411 on? I'm going to do my best. Absolutely. I've already put some wheels in motion on getting in touch with David Pilatus, and we are going to do our very best to make that happen. Absolutely, Tom. I definitely want to get him on really bad. I want to get him on in a situation to where you guys can ask questions as well as I. So, yes, we will be working up very diligently on making that happen. Tell them about the meetup, John. Post it on here. Date, time, place. Excuse me. Everything. Guys, I feel really bad. I know it's only been an hour and a half. Well, hour 40. I apologize for that. I like to do kind of a long show. I like to try to at least go to at least 2 hours, but I'm not going to make it tonight. I really don't feel good. This thing, whatever it is, it's just, I don't hurt anywhere. So it's not like I have an upset stomach I have my headaches as usual, and it's a little worse than it usually is, but that's not the problem. I just, how sometimes you just feel icky. There's nothing wrong. You just don't feel, Take care, sir. Get rest. Yes, that's why I'm going to go ahead and get off. I'm thinking I'm going to just go to bed and stay there for 2 days. Oh, thank you, Cassandra. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Y'all pray for our family, as both mine and Michelle's moms are in a pretty rough shape right now. So, but nothing that either of them can't come out of. So, Michelle's mom, I think maybe a little worse. They just put a pacemaker, an external pacemaker in. And when she's strong enough, they're going to go for the big one, the real one on the inside. So she's suffering from E. coli and diabetes and her heart, and she's just not very strong right now. So they're having to kind of take it easy on her. It's pretty sad, but she's a wonderful Christian lady, one of the best ladies I've ever met in my entire life. So you guys definitely be praying for her. Her name is Patsy. If you want to include that in your prayer. I know some people that pray for people like to know their name. And my mom is dealing with Parkinson's and possible onset of dementia. Um, so if you guys would keep them in your prayers. I feel the vapors. If you would keep them in your prayers, her name's Mary. My mom's name's Mary. Michelle's mom's name is Patsy. So you guys keep them in your prayers, and our whole family too. Please. John put it on there. The 20th of this month at San Antonio Grill in McCalla, Alabama at 5 p.m. And then he put the link for the RSVP on Facebook. So you guys do that. My mom is too, lived with us, has Alzheimer's and couching issues, suffering quite a bit. Doctors haven't found out anything yet. I'm so sorry, Cassandra. We'll add her to our prayer too. How far is that, John? McCalla is between here and Birmingham. It's not that far, actually. It's like within an hour of Montgomery, right, John? Mary and Patsy got it. Yep. Yeah, if you guys can't get into that link, go ahead and just PM John, and he'll send you an invite. But y'all RSVP because they're going to do reservations, and they need to know how many people are going to make it. And Barry, if by chance, I think he's already gone because he said goodnight. But if you are on, you are more than welcome to come. We should have said something while he was on. I don't think he is because it's not showing you. Well, that's rough, especially with the history. It's not a good history. So 20 to 30 minutes from Birmingham and an hour or so from Montgomery. Okay, I thought it was like within an hour, maybe a little more, a little less, depending on where you're coming from and how fast you drive. John, it's on the 20th of this month. You mean the 20th of next month, right? It can't be on the 20th of this month. We've already had the 20th of this month. Did you already have the second meet and greet? You just didn't invite me? Is that what it is? It's April 20th, right? Not March 20th. Yeah, there you go. Exit 1 off of I-459. There you go, Cassandra. You got to know where I-459 is. If you want to go anywhere east, that's where you're going to take right now for the next couple of, probably the next year and a half, because the 2059 is down, so out of Birmingham. Yep, we're still waiting for you to show up, Johnny. Yeah, I'm that late. I'm John from the future. Well, guys, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I love you guys. We will see you next week. I'm John from the past. I'm Johnny from the present. But thank y'all for joining tonight. Tonight was a good night. It was two subjects that I really like. I'm getting a little more intrigued by the Black Eyed Kids. It's not a whole bunch of research on them, but I am starting to find out a lot of other stuff about it. You guys go check out David Pilatus, Missing 411. You can find him on his channel on here, missing411.com. Just put in the search engine for YouTube, Missing 411 or David Pilatus. His name is David Pilatus, P-A-L-I-D-A-S, I believe is how it's spelled. P-A-L-I-D-A-S, I believe. How do you spell that? I knew someone was going to ask that. I'm sorry for your family, praying for all of you. Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you. And y'all keep Cassandra's mom in your prayers as well. but I think his last name is Palidas, Pilatus. You can Google him, David Pilatus, Palidas, and you'll bring up everything missing 411. Yes, thank you, Cassandra. Thank you so much. You guys keep Donna in your prayers too. She was pretty sick. I think she's got the flu, so y'all keep her in your prayers too, because that's nothing nice. But I don't know if you guys heard, because she wasn't on last week or this week, but she did get the test results back for her daughter-in-law, and this was all God and all the prayers, because there is no cancer. She was cancer-free. That was whatever's going on with her cyst or whatever it is on her neck is not cancer. So they're treating that as needed, but it is not cancer. They got the word the 20th, I believe. And the biopsy showed none, no cancer whatsoever. So that's awful. That's an answer of a prayer, a lot of prayers. So we're looking for that as well. We're looking for that same answer on both sides of our family too. So, amen. Prayer works. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So you guys, please pray for us. And I'm going to stop now because I'm going to cry. I love you guys. I will see you next week. I don't know what the topic is going to be. It's not going to be missing 411. I know that. I think we've done it to death. You guys go do your own research on it. And it's one of those topics that you can either just kind of spend a Saturday reading a few things and watching a few videos, or it's something that you could spend the rest of your life looking into, because it's just one of those things. It's an awesome topic, and there's something going on, and there's more people that get involved, the more answers we'll find. That's one of David Pilates' dreams, is to find the answers, to find out what's happening. So let's help him out. I'm going to work on getting him on. Absolutely. I'm going to work diligently on that. I'm still working on a site. I want to help get you guys to help me. I know there's only just 4 of you left tonight, but you guys help me out. I can't find a place to investigate. I'm at the end of my rope. So if y'all know of any places, John, I think you've sent me several places. If you know of any of those that you could talk to get us in for a weekend, that would be great. Somewhere secluded would be great, but if that's not possible, that's fine. Somewhere that will let us have the run of the place for the weekend, and somewhere that doesn't charge a whole bunch of money. The one place that I thought I'd be able to get into turned out they're not as nice people as I thought they were. They're not who I thought they were. But yeah, that didn't work out. I don't have any other places to try that won't, places like USS Alabama and a bunch of the historical landmarks and across the state and places like that. They all want so much money. And I mean, when I say so much money, I mean, they're saying they want us to start paying like $150 to $200 an hour from the time we get there Friday to the time we leave Sunday. You do the math. What about railroad station? What railroad station? I'm thinking about that Talladega library that was on the news. I didn't hear anything on the news about Talladega library, but if it's got activity, that would be great. See, you guys are starting to throw some stuff. All I did was ask, and y'all are so awesome. What about railroad station in Montgomery? There's a haunted railroad station in Montgomery that I don't know about. I'll have to look into that. I sent you the link a while back on the Talladega library. Send it back to me again, because I didn't get it, or I don't remember getting it. I probably got it. I just don't remember it. If you guys have any connections with any of these places, or know of someone or anything like that, give them a freaking call. Say, hey, we would love to come and investigate your site. And we want to do a live investigation, and it will advertise your site. Unless they don't want advertisement, and then tell them we won't advertise it. We won't do a live investigation, because everybody that's there will be there. but we need to get that done. So I'm incorporating your power. John, you're pretty much a member of the team already. You're just waiting on that last technicality. So that'll be your first job. Find us a place. How about White House of the Confederacy? They won't let us have the place for the weekend, Cassandra. Unless you know somebody. Ironworks at Tenny Hill. I'm sure there's got to be ghosts there. At the White House of the Confederacy, you would think. These are all great ideas, y'all. Run with it. Call somebody. John, that's your first job. Find us a place to do the weekend investigation. Your first job, your first assignment as a member of CAPI is to find us a place to do our, because I'm at the end of my rope. All the places I thought I could get it, I can't get it. Okay, children's playground. I don't mind children's playground. We can sleep in tents, but yeah. But anyway, thank you guys. Love you. I will see you next week. You guys have a paranormal week. And we will see you Sunday at 9. If you guys find a place and you want us to, and that we can have the run of it for the weekend, wherever it's at, as long as it's in the state of Alabama, let me know. You don't have to wait till next Sunday. You can PM me. But you guys have a great, great week. Have a paranormal week, and we will see you guys Sunday. I'm going to go take some medicine and go comatose. Good night.